Hey, what's up, guys? Mike Patrick. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a key way to identify when a narcissist wants you to fail, or identifying a narcissist, okay, and just understanding one of their key tactics, okay, one of the key things that they do in order to be narcissistic towards you and to you and other people, okay. Now, guys, be careful. Really try to identify if you have people in your life, okay, that if you don't do whatever they want you to do or what they want you to do, how they want you to do it, be wary of people who try to project negativity off on you because of that. So, because you don't do this, or because you don't think this, okay, or because you don't agree with this, then try to project something negative happening to you. Now, many of us, pretty much all of us, have had this in our life, in every demographic of life, okay, and but especially in certain demographics, okay. We've all had this, so this is a helpful video. Like all my videos, I hope they're helpful for almost everybody, okay. And once again, my videos are never to target an individual person, okay? It's always to address a larger issue, a bigger issue, and it's never personal, okay? I've said about my videos that some of the things in my videos very well may pertain to me, or they may pertain to things I've seen in other people's situation, okay? The point is other people, it's a prevalent enough issue to where it can be shared. The point of view can be shared with other people, so other people can vent, sit back, listen, and analyze and work themselves through certain situations and recognize certain situations and certain things that may be going on that they deem to be normal, and don't see the dysfunction in it until it's pointed out and someone's talking about it, and then they can begin to work on it, okay? So it's never to offend. I understand that it's going to always be somebody offended by anything, okay? So, but my videos are never to offend no particular person, okay? No one particular individual. That's why very rarely you'll ever hear me use anybody's name or anything like that, because I know that anything, even if it's personal for me and it may have inspired me to do a video, if it's a situation that I went through, you know what I mean? I understand there's another million people, at least all over across the world, that have the same thing going on, where this will be valuable content, okay? So, guys, now, the thing is, when people can't get what they want from you or out of you, okay, then if they are narcissists, one of the tactics is to try to project negativity. So what I mean by that is, for example, I say, hey, go pick up that piece of paper right there for me. I say, you say, no, I don't agree with going to pick up that piece of paper for you, okay? Then that person saying, see, now let's hypothetically speaking, let's say that person is your parent, okay? Or let's say it's an older person in general, okay? So I may say, that person may say, see, when people don't respect their parents, or people don't respect old people or older people or your elders, then something bad gonna happen to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's not really extreme, because the way I said it, not what I said, but because I don't want to say anything in particular what's supposed to happen to you or something like that, but it's the way that the person says it. So it's the manipulation in the person's voice and the person's intent. All right. So because I don't go do exactly what you want me to do, I don't go pick up that piece of paper. Now you're trying to project something bad happening to me in the future to try to manipulate me into thinking that if I don't do whatever you want me to do, then something bad is going to happen to me. Trying to implant that in my head. Now, why is that important? Because a lot of parents do this to their children, especially older generations. Like I said, the millennial generation is getting away from this because of stuff like this, calling these things out, recognizing these things, holding people accountable. You know what I mean? But like I was saying, because because I don't do that, now something bad has to happen, and trying to manipulate you and put you in that space of, let me do everything this person said because I don't want them to think something bad gonna happen to me, or have that be some bad omen. Okay, look, only person that's in control of anybody's life, okay, anything that happens to people, is the Most High, is the Father. Okay, can't no older person. I don't care if it's your grandma. I don't care if it's your uncle. I don't care if it's the person up the street, the neighbor up the street. Only person that can affect what's gonna happen to anybody is the Most High. Okay, and so don't let an individual person, especially because of what their title and role is, manipulate you into doing whatever they want you to do, how they want you to do it, when they want you to do it, or to think like they want you to think and stuff, because it's supposed to be some dark cloud over your head now because you didn't listen to them. Okay? And like I said, that's very dangerous for you younger guys or you younger people, because you start off like that, and many of you have had and have narcissistic parents who pull tactics like that. And so you grow up like that all your life you growing up like that. Or people will try to, in order to control you, people may try to use guilt. So, for example, I'll use parenting again. One thing we can't do, millennials, or if we are doing it, to try to call it out or recognize it, that has been done in the past. Like I said, it's about breaking cycles, right? Is trying to use guilt on your children. Okay, it's your responsibility, your duty, and really your honor, and should be your pleasure to take care of your children. Okay, all right. Now a lot of people, what they did in the past, because they wasn't doing the more important aspect of parenting, like what, like therapy, psychology, spending time with your children, talking to your children, really actively engaging and teaching and loving and having affection and things like that for your children. They might have missed out on a lot of that, and to overcompensate for that, or lack of not doing that, or just to be lazy in a lot of ways. Sometimes, let's keep it real, you'll just do what you supposed to do, financially, so to speak. So as long as I keep a roof over your head, some clothes on your back, and food in your mouth, then I'm doing all I'm supposed to do. And you supposed to listen to everything I say because I'm doing that. You know what I mean? Because I ain't got to be doing that or whatever. That's when it's treating your children like an item that you got to take care of, and then you want to pat on your back when you're doing the necessities of clothing, food, and shelter. Okay, but you may not be doing anything else as far as the developmental of that child, or you are doing other things, but everything you're doing is damaging. Okay, your neglect, your emotional and your mental and psychological neglect, or just bad behavior, your bad maintenance of these things, and your bad guidance when it comes to these things, you know what I mean, is actually worse than not being there at all. That's why they say sometimes it's better for somebody not to be there at all. I've heard plenty of guys say, or people say, maybe it's better that I didn't have my father in my life, or whoever, because they for different reasons, people's parents may be drug addicts, different things, and all these things affect their personality and what type of person they are and stuff like that. And so some people think it was just best for them not to be there at all. While both is damaging and effective, it's like they feel like it's the lesser of the evil for that person just not have ever even been there. So that's the thing, guys. But like, ultimately, nobody should be trying to make you feel guilty, or nobody should be trying to make you feel like something bad is going to happen to you or anything like that, because you're not their puppet. Okay, guys? Because like I said, only the Most High knows anybody's fate. And so that's just not good. All that does is, it's a spirit killer. It contracts your child's spirit. Okay, because what happens is, for one, it's you're trying to instill fear in that person, right? You're trying to instill fear. You know what I mean? And that's one of Satan's biggest tactics, is instilling fear, right? So You always trying to have that person looking over their shoulder every time. You know what I mean? Like every time they don't do something that this person want me to do, oh, expecting. And then when you're expecting something, then you're likely to get it, right? So if a person's mentally trying to beat you down, if a parent is mentally trying to beat you down into submission, right? Then if they constantly trying to speak negative words into your life or negative hopes, because trust me, this person, if they're doing that, they're doing it because they want it to be right. They're not doing it to be wrong. If this person is that much of a narcissist to where they're telling you what bad is gonna happen or how, or trying to act like it's some omen that if you don't do what they want you to do, that something bad is lurking around the corner from you. That person wants to be right. They don't want to be wrong. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. That person don't want to be wrong, so they want that to happen to you to some degree. You know what I mean? Or just as bad or bad enough, they trying to scare you into doing what they want. So it's like, oh, well, maybe if I do go ahead and do this or do act this way, like how they want me to act or be the way they want me to be, then I can avoid whatever bad they're saying is going to happen to me. You see what I'm see the manipulation there? You see what I'm saying? So you don't worry, you can't worry about stuff like that, guys. Now, in all defense of these people, like I said, hey, I can't even say that I haven't fell short of some of this stuff. You know what I mean? But see what happens, like these things become normal to us. Because guess what? If your parent did it, it's probably because their parent did it. And if their parent did it, it's because they, you know what I mean, like whatever. So a lot of this stuff can't be your don't necessarily have to be your fault. But once it's acknowledged, you know what I mean? Once it's acknowledged, it's acknowledged and you can work on it. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're showing your hand when you know what you're doing and you just don't care. You know what I mean? You like, oh no, I'm gonna be right anyway. I'm gonna do this is what I want anyway. Like just this, and then a lot of times it happens is because certain people it's sad. It's really bad when because a lot of times it's the hierarchy in your family. So who's gonna ever call this out? You see what I'm saying? So everybody got that person in the family. For a lot of people, it's Big Mama, right? or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't got to be Big Mama because I don't want to make this political. You know what I mean? This is more of a spiritual, a mental health, or and a psychological video. You know what I mean? But it could be Big Papa, or whatever, whoever. You know what I mean? But that person that's at that upper tree, can't nobody tell them anything, and so therefore, whatever their dysfunctions is, it's just seen to be normal, spread throughout everybody else. Okay, because who's going to call out this person and check them when everybody's scared to check them? Because half the time, especially now, I know a lot of people that's in like certain age brackets that know and see the dysfunction, and some people that's in upper age, or not just the young, because we always know we can always criticize the young folk, right? But I'm talking about people that's in younger generations who are right there in that sweet spot. Like I know Generation Xers that look at some baby boomers and know and see the dysfunction, but they've been raised a certain way for so long that they'll never speak against that. You know, I understand to a certain degree, it's ride or die, right? A person can't do no wrong. Like, you know what I mean? That's your blood, that's your family or whatever. I know when you get to a certain point, you gotta accept that person for the flaws and all whatever. And you know, and that's who you riding with. I get it. But I'm talking about stuff that can be addressed though. Stuff that you can go ahead and address that don't gotta take no squabbles or nothing like that. Just, you know what I mean? Like stuff that you can change and address is gonna help. That's gonna help your squad ultimately. You know what I mean? The people that you ride or die with, just, you know what I mean? It ain't to say, well, a person just is the way, or this is just a situation and we can't try to fix it and we can't try to work on it and get better so we can all collectively be better going forward, right? But just because you scared to speak up and say something to somebody or call, you know what I mean? And then that enables people, because nobody's trying to sit down and say, well, you know what? I understand you did a great job, whatever. You know, none of us is perfect. We don't, you know what I mean? We all got to work on ourselves and things like that. But maybe this is an issue for you, and maybe it's something we can do. How's that? That's not even disrespectful. That's totally respectful and everything. So you know what I mean? But but whatever. Right? Let me try to stay. Let me see, because I'm trying to see if I hit all the points or hit everything that I wanted to talk about. I think that's good, guys. So yeah, be careful of that in general, and then watch yourself as a person because you may have done it too. But once again, it's a thing that you might not really notice. It's just a part of your programming. It's been a part of your programming, right? So if you that type of person that's trying to project negativity off on somebody because every time they don't do something they want you to do, you're trying to give them a bad omen or something like that. You know what I mean? Stop doing it. You may not noticed it. You may have not been intentional about it. Okay, but you know what I mean? Not saying that everybody's going to see this video to do it, but you know what I'm saying? If you're a person that does stuff like that and you happen to see this video, you know what I mean? And you never noticed it before, then hopefully this can be a start to stop doing stuff like that. Because one thing, now, because you could say on this channel and things I talk about like sometimes, that I feel like it's my position and my calling to do so. You could say, well, you talk about certain things that's going on in the world and is going to go on in the world and stuff like that. Wouldn't that be negativity? Wouldn't that be talking about negative things and stuff like that, or projecting negative? No, it's a difference. See, it's a difference when you're trying to project. You're trying to determine or act like you have a strong feeling of something bad happening to a particular individual. It's a difference because they won't do what you want them to do or something. And then it's a difference in understanding that this thing is bigger than all us, the world now. Now we're talking about the world because with an individual, that's up to the Most High, what their lot is going to be. But I can say overall, yes, we're in the end times. Every religion, every history, every theory, everything points to this. So it's not something where it's like it's just me saying, "Oh, this is gonna happen," and there's no grounds for it, or it's just one individual. Because I could say, that it's the end times, right? But I can't say how the end times gonna end for any particular individual. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So, but I can say that we're in a time of great change, and yes, it is the end of an old world, so to speak, and an old way of doing things. It's a lot, and is it not a lot of things happening that's changing the world? The world will never go back to the way that it was. You see what I'm saying? It's because the only thing that's inevitable is change anyway. You know what I mean? So when I say what goes along with all this stuff, yeah, it's going to be some bad things that happen. It's going to be some good things that happen. It's going to be some so-so things that's going to happen. It's going to be some things that make things appear to just be normal and plateau. You know what I mean? But that covers a broad perspective of the whole world. But it's not for me to say, if a hurricane is going to happen or if a volcano is going to go off, who's going to get caught up in that very volcano. You know what I mean? Or something, you know what I mean? Like, or just to say that anything that negative can happen, that somebody's going to get caught up in that because of, you know what I mean? Because of whatever. So it's like anybody's individual fate is in the hands of the higher power, okay? The highest power. All right, guys? Ultimately, you know what I mean? So it's a difference with that. I wanted to say that because it's a difference with that. You know what I mean? I think that was a good point. But hopefully this was a helpful video, guys. Speak positivity into people, even if they don't agree with everything that you say, even if they don't do everything that you would have them do. If you gotta have them do something for you in the first place or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, and just try to be a healthier person yourself, and notice that if you are more of a narcissistic person, and if you just have certain things that's going on with you that you need to address, try to work on it, and as opposed to being narcissistic, thinking that you're infallible and that you don't have anything that you need to work on, and there's nothing wrong with you, and that you're not necessarily the problem. All right, guys, peace.